Good morning to everyone out in RedHawks Nation. I'm Scott Friesen, and he's Mr. Dewick. Welcome to your R360 morning announcements.
It is Friday, January 24th today, day 2 on the school calendar.
That means the grade 5-6s have intramurals today.
Exam tip number 5. Don't think of yourself or the exam in a negative sense. Do tell yourself that you will do your best on the exam and that will be enough. All the best next week, grade 9 to 12 students, on your exams. You can do it!
Our RedHawk of the week is Jesse Johnson in grade 5. Jesse was nominated by one of his classmates who said that he is always brightening people's days. Jesse's teachers have been very impressed with how he interacts with the younger students who look up to him. Keep it up, Jesse.
In sports news, the JV boys basketball team travels to Happy Rock, also known as Gladstone, to play McGregor. Good luck, Hawks.
Sticking with sports, the past Wednesday, the junior girls traveled to Starbuck. The score after 4 minutes into the game was 4-0 for the RedHawks. Nothing was landing at the beginning, but once the team figured out how to work with the tin backboards, the baskets started coming.
Each girl got a basket and even saw players using their crossover dribbles to beat the opponents. The final score was 72-36 for the RedHawks. Great job, girls. Looking forward to seeing what they can do next week, Wednesday, against Morse in our home opener.
Last night, the varsity boys basketball team hosted an exciting and intense and action-packed game against DCS, both offensively and defensively. Each team took the lead at various times during the game, with perhaps an edge for the visiting team.
After the first quarter, the game was tied at 24-24. The halftime score, DCS 53 and Rosenort 38. And going into the fourth quarter, DCS 64 and Rosenort 52. But the Hawks never gave up.
A timely three-pointer by Gerhard to tie the game. Points went back and forth with less than 10 seconds in the game. DCS's fifth foul gave the Hawks a shooting bonus with Noah Clausen on the line. His second shot went in for 1 point lead. And then a steal on the inbound and a basket by Eob for a final score, and a basket by Hunter, securing the 86-81 final score and a win for the Hawks.
Last but not least, happy birthday wishes going out to Jewel Plett for today.
And Eva Martins for tomorrow.
As we sign off today, RedHawks Nation has requested it. So it's returning to feature Friday for today. Another story from the Cabinet of Curiosities.
Have a great Friday, everyone.
John Sullivan was known as the Boston Strong Boy. Born in 1858 to Irish immigrants, John grew up in the South End of Boston. His parents wanted him to become a priest, but during his first year of college, he discovered two things. He loved to play baseball, and he was really good at it. Sullivan dropped out of college around 1875 and entered the world of professional baseball, a journey that lasted about 8 years. According to him, that was about the time he switched over to a new sport, boxing. He started out as part of a boxing tour. He and 5 other men traveled the country by train, stopping almost every day in a new place to fight each other and sometimes even a local volunteer. The tour lasted 238 days, during which time they participated in 195 matches in 136 different places. Sullivan knocked out 11 opponents during the tour. Now, keep in mind, this was the late 1880s. Sullivan sometimes fought bare-knuckled, meaning his opponents weren't always given the benefit of a padded glove to the face. Then again, neither was Sullivan. And that's okay though. He loved the sport and was considered the best in the world during his time. And over the course of his decade-long career, he was only ever knocked out once, which is how he lost his final match in 1892, in fact. Which is sort of true, but not really. Yes, Sullivan was only officially knocked out once, but someone else had laid the Boston Strong Boy out cold shortly before he retired. That fighter was named Donahue. Donahue helped run a boxing school out of the city of Worcester, Massachusetts. But in 1892, Sullivan had been participating in a small theater tour where he boxed with others on stage in front of large crowds, and a friend introduced him to Donahue. The thing is, Donahue wasn't actually a boxer, but working in a boxing school was a great way to pick up all the tricks of the trade, sort of like how kids learn things from their parents just by watching, and practicing what they see. Donahue, it turned out, was a quick study. One night during this touring boxing exhibition, Sullivan called out from the stage that he would beat any man who came on stage. If he failed, he would pay them a reward, but of course, Sullivan never failed. He was the Boston Strong Boy, after all. Most of the time, Sullivan would hit them once, and they would fall over and not get back up. But Donahue changed all of that. They actually managed to last 2 full rounds before things got interesting in the third, when Sullivan caught Donahue with a powerful blow to the face. But Donahue, unlike all the other contestants that night, refused to go down. Instead, all of that pain and rage became a sort of rocket fuel ready to explode. With a savage scream, Donahue lashed out and connected with the champion's jaw. For a brief instant, it looked as if nothing would happen. Then, like a tall pine hit with a lumberjack's axe, the Boston Strong Boy silently toppled over, hitting the canvas with a sick thud. He was out cold. Boxers get knocked out. We all know that. And while it's unusual for Sullivan to have gone a decade without that happening to him during an official match, we might be able to accept that there were other moments when it could have taken place. This theater match in 1892 was just that rare moment. Few would ever be able to claim that they had seen the champion felled by another fighter. The folks in this audience became members of an elite crowd that night. Because of the knockout, sure, but also because of something else. Like I mentioned before, Donahue wasn't a boxer. Amateurs aren't supposed to be able to level a professional like that. Could it have been a lucky punch? Sure, but that still wouldn't change the most surprising detail of all. John L. Sullivan, the Boston Strong Boy, had been knocked out by a woman, Mrs. Hesse Donahue.